So with that, let's talk a little bit about what debt is and what they're doing and why they're different, how we differ from a lot of these meme coins and pump and dump coins that are out there. First of all, let's talk about the relationship between IX Global and debt. So debt was founded by Jason Anderson, Jake Anderson, and they were venture capitalists. They ran a large hedge fund. They got involved in Bitcoin mining when it was less than $100 a coin. And then ultimately it went up to, I'm gonna stop this for a second, went up to about $500 a coin. And they thought, hey, we had 5 times our money. That's what you're looking for as a hedge fund manager. And they started to sell, and they didn't realize what was going to happen with Bitcoin. They got involved in mining, real mining, gold, bullion in Ghana, and other projects, and oil. And they were introduced to a technology a few years ago that had the ability to be able to scan the earth and identify pockets of oil and other precious metals and commodities. And this is valuable because they have the ability to not only find the oil in the ground, but they have the ability to be able to find it within 6 centimeters. And the reason why that's so valuable is because these oil companies, when they go and drill, they're trying to hit a specific artery, or sometimes they're trying to come into a well at a certain entry point. And if they miss, what ends up happening is it can be very expensive and they can lose a lot of money. And so the fact that this new technology allows them to be able to identify these pockets of oils to within 6 centimeters was highly valuable from an exploratory standpoint to these different mining companies. So they went and they met these oil companies and they showed them this technology, and they established partnerships. We call them our debt partners. And we receive royalties off of all of the future projects that we help them establish with our scan technology. One of the mines, for example, I'll show you here, is in Nevada. This particular mine was drilled in the 50s and 60s. They thought that it had gone dry, but the new scanning technology found a chamber that had tens of millions of barrels of oil in this particular well. We have wells in a number of different areas now. So we have wells in Nebraska, in Nevada, in Ghana, multiple Texas locations. So we have wells in a number of different areas. And it was a very fruitful partnership. So they decided, because of their background in financial services and in cryptocurrency, to go and launch their first cryptocurrency project in November of this last year. It's called Black Gold. And the thing that they wanted to do different, because of these meme coins and these pump and dump coins that were all speculative and they had no real world value, is they wanted to launch an ecosystem. And this was the first project that was actually backed by real world commodities, the same way that the dollar was backed by gold before it was removed from the gold standard. Can anybody tell me what has happened to the overall value of gold since it's been removed from the gold standard? In the last 50 years, it's lost 86% of its value. So they wanted to introduce something that truly was backed by something tangible. And so they launched Black Gold. It was backed by the oil. And that project exploded. It absolutely exploded, and it went up over 76,000% in the first 6 months. I've got screenshots of just back offices here that'll give you just kind of an indication of what the first 90 or so days looked like. So you can see here this individual screenshot of the debt back office. This is a wallet. It had $1,329 in it on January 2nd. On January 11th, the same amount of tokens was worth $2,381. On January 21st, it was worth $11,000. On March 13th, it was worth $19,000. Unfortunately, I don't have what happened in April. It went up over 40,000%, and now it rests at over 70,000%. Why is that? Because people are looking for real world projects. People are looking for tangibility. They're tired of the pump and dump schemes. And so when I heard about this, a friend of mine called me, and somebody that I trust and I've known for a long time. He said to me, listen, Travis, if you're like me, you're probably trying to figure out what to do with your capital right now. You put it in the bank, you're going to lose to inflation. Can't really put it in the stock market. What are you doing? I says, I don't know, actually. I'm kind of trying to figure that out right now. He says, well, look, I've got this project I want to share with you. And he tells me the story about black gold, and he tells me the story about the scan technology. And I was impressed that everything sounds good at first, right? So I have a son who is very knowledgeable in this space. He's 22 years old. He's been researching mining projects and nodes since he was 18. He makes, high six figures, multiple six figures, doing nothing but node projects and mining and cryptocurrency. I said to these guys, I said, look, I want you to come back tomorrow and I want you to share everything you shared with me and with my son. I've been in mining. I understand crypto. This sounds great, but I want a second set of eyes on it. So we meet the next day, and Joe Martinez, the owner of IX Global, I'll tell you who they are in a moment, and my buddy Brian Robert, we all meet on a Zoom just like this, and they start sharing the story. And my son Chandler goes, oh, is this black gold? As soon as he heard about the scan technology, and they said, how do you know? And he said, I researched this project. I actually got on the phone with the sales guys when it first launched, and you could buy a mining node at that time for $1,000. He said, I didn't buy it because I didn't really like the sales guy. And he said, it was the biggest mistake of my life. The licenses now sell retail value of over $50,000. If you were to go to the debt box today, you'd spend about $49,500 for one of those nodes. The coin went up 77,000%. Had he bought 5 of them, he would have had a 7-figure return. So he ended up first getting involved with their second project, where there is oil, there's natural gas, not just any type of natural gas, but self-regenerative natural gas. It's a byproduct of the drilling process. And so, they were just getting ready to introduce these natural gas nodes, and he jumped in. He bought 10 of them right away. They were $2,000 a piece when they launched. And we watched it for a few weeks. And after watching it, what happens is as the demand goes up, there's only a limited amount of licenses and a limited amount of coin. And so as the demand goes up and more nodes start coming online, the value goes up. So by the time that I had bought 10, and I own 10 licenses, they were $2,500 per node. Today, they're $3,250, or if you buy more than one, they're $3,000 a piece. Now, we have a lot of different projects, some that are less than that. But this was their second project that launched maybe about 7 or 8 weeks ago. So what we liked, and ultimately why I chose to get involved, was because it was truly backed by a commodity. They had I believe the best predictor of future performance is past performance. Does the past performance guarantee future performance? No. Is there risk involved in cryptocurrency? Yes. Is there any guarantees? No, there's not in anything that you put your money into. So let me show you guys. First of all, let me just touch on who IX Global is. So IX Global, my friends own that company, the ones that called me about this. And these guys are companies 2 years old, cryptocurrency financial services education company. They do master classes on crypto, NFTs. They have classes on e-commerce. They have classes on Forex, signals that are sent out from professional traders. So they do a lot of different things in this space. They'll do over $200 million in revenue this year. So they're a very successful company. And they knew the guys over at DET that started this ecosystem. And they approached them and said, listen, we have this company, we have this captive audience, and we would love to be your marketing arm for your node projects. And ultimately, they've created a partnership now where IX Global has the exclusive rights to all of the node projects. So that's how these guys fit into the equation. And we'll kind of bring that back around in just a moment. But I want to talk a little bit more about some of these projects and how they all work. And I'm going to show you my back office, open it up so you guys can see firsthand exactly how it works. So you go over to what I'm looking at right now is thedebtbox.com. So you can go to thedebtbox.com and you can see everything that I'm seeing, do your own research. You can kind of scroll down here and it talks about how it works and the different projects. And if you want to click learn more, you can actually read the light papers on each one of the projects. And you can learn all about it, how the tokenomic works. So you can kind of go through this and spend a little bit of time in here. But I'm going to touch today on mining for a moment and just what is mining? Because the term, you think about like people in a gold mine, hammering away, chiseling away, and that's not what we're referring to. So what is a software mining node? What are you purchasing? A node is, let's talk about blockchain. So blockchains require nodes to operate. So every single blockchain requires a node, and a node is a piece of software and or hardware that connects to other nodes in the blockchain. And they eventually create a network. And nodes are where data is stored and received and transmitted. And they're crucial to network security and integrity. Kind of going back to the merchant analogy for a moment, picture a node being a merchant, right? The merchant is the one that clears the transaction. In the same way, that's exactly what nodes are doing. All blockchain transactions must pass through nodes. As they validate the transactions, it's a consensus mechanism. So there's an algorithm, a mathematical algorithm, and multiple nodes have to agree that the transaction is legitimate. And that's what creates or negates fraud from happening, because it's very unlikely that you're going to be able to get multiple node holders when you don't know where they are around the world to be able to confirm, to be able to validate the transaction before it's stored on the blockchain. Each blockchain has a different protocol or way that they do it. So Bitcoin has their own blockchain. Ethereum has its own blockchain. These are different types of cryptocurrencies. There's thousands of them out there. Many of the bigger boys, maybe if you look at the top 5, top 10, a lot of them have their own blockchain, whereas some of those coins operate on the Bitcoin blockchain. So that would be referred to as a token, not a coin. Both of them have value. Both of them are currency, but one would be a coin because they have their own blockchain. A token operates on someone else's blockchain. We operate on the Binance blockchain. So we talk in the language of tokens. So every single blockchain has their own way of validating these transactions. And what you need to understand is owning a license gives you the ability to be able to go online. You don't do anything. Once you activate your license, as long as you're connected to the internet, or you can even choose the cloud mining option, which is what I do, and I don't even do anything. You're now online, attached to the network, participating in the rewards that are being paid. Every time a transaction is validated, rewards are distributed to all of the node holders. There's only a limited amount of licenses. For example, with NatG, there's only 100,000 licenses. There's only a certain amount of tokens. There's not an unlimited supply, which is where the value ultimately comes from, right? Because if they just kept making more and more and more and more tokens, just like printing more and more and more money, it would lose its overall value. So just to recap, to kind of simplify, all a node is the software and hardware that when it goes online, links up with all of the other licensee holders, node holders, and that network is working to validate the transactions on the blockchain. It's what keeps it safe and secure. It's also what keeps it decentralized, because we're not relying on financial institutions, the banking industry, to validate these transactions. We have given the power back to the people, and you and I have the ability to profit instead of the institutions. That is one of the benefits of a decentralized currency. Not only that, it's faster, it's more efficient, it's cheaper. If I wanted to go send $1 million to a friend right now in Dubai, if I went to the bank, I would spend hours filling out forms. It would cost me a tremendous amount of money to send it. Not only that, but there's something referred to as the gap, that when you send your money based on when their markets close and ours are open and closed, they can't even really explain to you. But when the money converts to a different currency, money always disappears. They refer to it as the gap. It would probably take up to a week or even 2 for the money to actually get there. Now, what are they doing with your money during that time? They're investing it. They're investing your money. So I can send $1 million to a friend in Dubai right now. It might cost me about 50 cents, and it would be there in 15 minutes. No banks in the middle of my transaction. That is the power of a decentralized currency. So let's talk about how it works, how our DebtBox program works. Step 1, you purchase a software mining license and you activate it. You buy the license directly from IX Global. We call them IX. It's our IX node program. And within that, there are a number of different licenses that you can purchase or get involved with. From there, it activates within 24 to 48 hours. You start earning rewards daily through the mining process. You don't have to do anything. It's passive. It's truly a passive income. And then from there, you can withdraw your rewards and you can exchange them to our utility token, which is called our DebtBox token, which is listed on a number of different exchanges. We're not talking about what we're going to do. We're on we just went live on Coin Market Cap yesterday. We're on Pancake Swap. We're on CoinGecko and another of other exchanges as well. We're actually bringing on about one a week right now. So, and it has full liquidity. So I can cash my tokens or turn my tokens into cash anytime that I want to. So let me show you what happens in the back office. Well, before that, let's talk a little bit about the projects that they offer. So we talked about Black Gold. This was their first project, kind of set the stage and created the excitement for this ecosystem. It set the example for what they call is their tokenomics. Tokenomics is just the economics of each particular project. The second project to come out was NatG. NatG was based on the natural gas. By the way, what's happening in the energy sector right now? What just happened yesterday to natural gas? Prices went up again. Energy prices continue to go up. So if we're going to have to pay it on one end, why not benefit from it on the other? So these are the first two projects. BGLD is the symbol for this particular coin. Started off, you could buy a license for $1,000. I mentioned to you that if you were to go to DET and you wanted to buy a license directly from DET, they're selling for $49,500 today. Why? Because of the success of the project and because of the popularity and because they started with 100,000 licenses and there's not that many left. Once it sells out, they're gone. So the good thing is that IX Global, when they became the strategic marketing arm for DET and they created this alliance, this strategic partnership, they bought tens of thousands of licenses at a set price before the prices went up. You can still purchase a BGLD license at IX Global for $6,000, which won't last long. There's only a few left, and it is a fantastic deal based on the fact that the retail value of that license is $49,000. NatG currently is selling for $3,250. We'll see this go up to $3,500 and eventually $4,000 over the course of the next couple of weeks to month, based on the popularity. And again, as the licenses become more and more limited, the value goes up, right? It's supply and demand. In addition to that, we have DET is our utility token. There are no more DET licenses. When I say utility token, what that simply means is that DET is on all of our exchanges. This is our master coin, and you can swap any one of these tokens for DET in our app. You can literally just exchange DET for, you could change your NatG coins for DET, and then you could go to any of the exchanges we're on and cash it into USD, to US dollar anytime. So this serves all of our different projects. These licenses are sold out. Black Gold, there are a few left. We have NatG. Grow is high yielding agriculture. This is a really interesting project. This actually is also a fairly new project, came out about a month ago. That's $2,000 per license. And what's cool about it is they're into all of these different, hemp, and they're into carbon credits. So if you understand how carbon credits work, oil and gas companies have to buy carbon credits from farms. So it's kind of like their footprint in the earth, they have to offset that. So what do? They go and invest in farmland or farms that are giving back to the globe, or to the earth, right? They're contributing. Maybe they're planting trees, or they're contributing in ways that are adding value back to the earth. And so they have to buy these carbon credits. So what these guys do is brilliant. They actually require anybody that wants to use their scan technology, they require them to buy carbon credits from our DET partners that sell these carbon credits. So all of the profitability from each one of these projects goes back into the project. I want you guys to really follow me on this, because this is one of the unique differentiators of this particular project, or these particular projects. So all of our non-deliverable tokens. What do I mean by non-deliverable? So if it's gold and it's backed by gold, you can actually exchange a token for a gram of gold. So that's deliverable. They'll actually send you the gold. We can't send you a barrel of oil. We can't send you natural gas. So that's considered a non-deliverable. So when it comes to what's referred to as the tokenomics and all of the non-deliverables, what they do is as the profits come in from their DET partners, they don't just put that in their bank and report that. We're not a publicly traded company. What they do is they take the profits and they go and they buy coin that is in the ecosystem. and they send it to a burn wallet so that it can never be used again. So I want you to think about this. Let's say there's 10 million tokens in circulation. There's more than that, but I'm going to use just a simple number, 10 million tokens in circulation. And there's a set amount of licenses to mine to produce those tokens. So over time, more and more tokens go into circulation. So there's two ways ultimately that somebody can buy coin, right? They can either go to an exchange and buy it, or you can be a node holder that's actually creating it, right? So kind of look at it this way. Would you rather own the coin, or would you rather own the ATM that produces? Would you rather own the bill, or would you rather own the ATM that's creating that, putting that money into circulation? Same concept, right? So what they're doing is every time their profits come in from that particular project and their debt partners, they buy up the existing coin in circulation and send it to the burn wallet. So what's happening to the supply? The supply is going down. What's happening to the demand? The demand is going up. What happened to the housing market over the last 2 years when there was not enough supply and the demand went up? What happened to the overall value of the homes? Now you understand why black gold went up 77,000%. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant the way these guys run these projects. So not only are they backed by real world commodities, but they have tokenomics that are in place that drive and help support the value of these tokens. So the difference between BLG and NatG when it comes to the tokenomics, Black Gold, the first project that has already gone up 77,000%, is basically 9 months because the tokenomics are the exact same. We have DLG, which is our new gold project that was introduced this week on Monday. The license is $1,500. This is more of kind of a stable coin. So this is a safe way to go because you're protected against the downside, the downward pressure, if the coin goes down. Why? Because even if it goes down, you can still exchange 1 token for 1 gram of gold. And that gram of gold always has a set value, whatever gold is selling for. So it's a little bit more stable. You might not see the same type of swings that you would see in some of the others. What they're doing is they're giving you different risk factors to allow you to be able to build a well-rounded portfolio. So, but there's still opportunity here. In fact, it's supported by, in Ghana, they just passed a law that now requires every mining company to use our scan technology because they were tired of companies coming in and strip mining their land when technology exists that allow them to be able to know exactly where the oil or the gold or the other precious metals are. So it's now law that they have to use our scan technology, and all of the profits go back into this ecosystem. I like that project a lot, actually. Explorer is a really, really fun project. It just introduced, oh, by the way, DLG Gold only has 10,000 licenses because it's backed by real bullion. So you can't have more coins in circulation and more licenses than the actual gold that they have, physical gold. Again, this is what separates this ecosystem from anything else that you've seen in this marketplace. Explorer is a fun project. So our scan technology, we've been leasing space on satellites, and it's very expensive. We have now partnered with SpaceX, with Boeing, and with Google, and they're sending us into space. We're launching our own satellite. So this satellite will have the ability, others will now have the ability to be able to lease space for a set price. And the profits from this particular project will go into this ecosystem. This particular license is $1,000. This license, I would consider it to be a little more high risk with also high reward potential. Why? Because SpaceX has sent some satellites up that have blown up before. It's not really a safe bet until the license or the satellite is in space. So again, here you might see a higher risk, but also a higher reward. So they're introducing different projects depending on what your comfort level is, what your risk tolerance is. Aluminum is a project that I think has tremendous potential because they're already partnered with the largest bauxite mine in Ghana. Bauxite is a clay that turns into aluminum. They do about 1.2 trillion tons of aluminum every year. They're responsible for about 30% of the world's soda cans that we see in the world circulation today. And they're going from 1.2 trillion to 5 trillion. And they just hired us to be their exploratory partner using our scan technology to go assist in finding additional bauxite. So that project, they're already mining. So to me, this project is something that you can get in and start to enjoy the tokenomics right away. All of these projects, in my opinion, again, my opinion, I'm not a financial expert, is minimum 1 to 2 year projects. These are not coins that you're looking to get in today and sell next week and you're chasing the next pump. If you're looking for that, you're in the wrong place. These are real world, commodity backed, eco-friendly projects, and all of them require the tokenomics to kick in. So I'll give you an example with NatG. NatG, we just had the drill arrive on one of our sites. We're now going to start drilling. The payload is 17,000 square feet into the ground. So we have to drill it. Once we hit the dome, then we have to extract it. Then we go sell it in the marketplace. And then that profitability buys out and sends to the burn wallet. So, we might not even see the first burns until later this year. So does it mean that you're not mining and earning coins now? No, you're earning every day. You're earning tokens now. But the potential to see the value of those tokens start to go up, and I use the word potential, there's no guarantees, relies on the tokenomics kicking in. And there's a lot of other little variables there. Every time there's a transaction that takes place, somebody cashes out, 2% gets sent to the burn wallet. So they're constantly removing supply. So these projects take a little bit of time to mature and establish, but it doesn't mean that you won't see fluctuation. Even now, we were up 29% on NatG yesterday. Today we're down. Why? Because of the economic reports, and pretty much everything is down. It's because of the news that just came out. So what you're going to see with these licenses, the non-deliverables more than the deliverables, is volatility. If you can't handle fluctuation, then this probably wouldn't be a good fit for you. If you are going to log in every day and panic every time it's down 5% or 8%, we were up 29% yesterday. We're probably down 10 to 14% today in the NatG project. Tomorrow we'll be up 8%. So there's fluctuation there. I'm not a day trader, so I'm not looking to try and make little profits in trading all the time. I don't have the time for it, nor do I have the knowledge. This is a project for me that I want to put my capital to work, and I want to have that license that allows me to accumulate a large amount of token, especially when the market is down. My number one goal right now is token accumulation. Now, what I'm going to do, and I'm going to stop sharing I'm already logged in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my back office. I want you guys to actually see this in real world. So NatG, here's kind of where we're at right now. Black gold is actually up today, which is crazy, even amongst what's going on in the world. Some of these others, gold just came out 2 days ago, so there's not really a real read yet on it. Debt down 2%, NatG's down 12% today, GROW's down 4%. I don't pay attention to what the value of the coin is on a day-to-day basis. I mean, I might look just to see what's going on, but again, I know the owners pretty well, and we've had a number of conversations about each one of these projects, and he made me promise that I wouldn't sell for a year. He says, Travis, you don't even know yet what you have your hands on. He said, in maybe 6 months, you'll start to understand it when we start sending, the first profits to the burns, and some of these projects start to mature, but you don't know what you had your hands on yet. And so for me, I understand that. So with that in mind, my goal, and this is the dashboard to my wallet. When you buy a license, you get a wallet. It's your wallet. Nobody else has access to it. You can't even request. The only way that you can get a password is kind of like if you sign up on an exchange. If any of you have ever done that before, they give you a seed phrase, and you can't lose that seed phrase. If you do and you forget your password, you're out of luck. Because if somebody could send you a new password, that means somebody has access to your wallet. So this is your wallet. This is my wallet that I'm showing you. Every day, you'll see that if I click on rewards, you'll see my portfolio. So I have 10 NatG licenses. I have 1 debt license that just started mining here recently. And this yesterday, and I'm waiting for them to come online, I just bought a DLG, which is gold, an Explorer, and aluminum, because I want to take advantage of those entry price points on those licenses. So if you go over here and click on NatG, you're going to see right here my mining balance. I have 12,185,000 tokens that I've mined in the last roughly 2 months. If you look here closely, you see that number is going up every second or so. Those are tokens that are being deposited into my account real time. Those tokens have full liquidity. I can click on withdrawal. I can exchange this to the debt token and go take that to PancakeSwap or any of the other exchanges that we're on and cash it out for USD and have that in my personal bank account within probably an hour, maybe less. So they have full liquidity, but I'm not interested in cashing out. I'm not so focused on what this NATG value is, 0.0 right now. One token is 0.00035. Yesterday it was 0.00046. The other day it was 0.00059. We see fluctuation. I'm not concerned about that because, again, I know that the project tokenomics haven't even really kicked in yet. What I'm focused on right now is this number. And I'm focused on right now, this current cycle within this 24-hour period, I've mined 180,000 tokens. To give you some perspective, if you go over to debt, our utility token, I receive 1 coin a day, but the coin is also worth $20. So let me ask you a question. Again, this is hypothetical, right? This is all hypothetical. Oh, sorry, I clicked on the wrong one. So let's say that NATG, you can see right now, again, the market value today is 0.00035. It's not even worth a penny yet, okay? What happens if NATG goes to $1 and I'm holding 12 million tokens? What happens if it goes to 10 cents? What happens if it goes just to a penny? I'm still gonna be happy. But what if it goes to $20 where the debt token is today? See, over time, what happens is as more and more nodes come online and the tokenomics kick in, you'll see that the payouts become less and less on the licenses. But I'm okay with that because I'm still receiving 1 token a day that's worth $20. Well, what happens to all those people that got in early that accumulated all of these tokens when that project starts to mature? What you need to understand is the best time to accumulate, or some people refer to it as stack coin, is in a down market. The only thing that we can do is we can vet a project based on who's running it, their track record, their success rate, and then is it tangible? You're looking for things like, are they already on exchanges? Do they already have liquidity? Can you cash out? Guys, we traded over $1 million in trading volume yesterday. Ranked number 10 on LBank, which is the number 16th exchange in the world. $77 million in license sales yesterday. So it's not about what these guys are going to do. It's about what they are doing. And people are flocking to us right now because we have a real world solution that is backed by real world commodities. Now, does that mean that there's no risk? Absolutely not. There's risk in anything. You know, the people that spent 40 years putting money into the stock market for their retirement that have lost $3 trillion this year didn't expect that their money would be going away this year. I had a friend call me literally 2 hours ago that said, Travis, I've lost $35,000 in the stock market in the last 45 days. So there's risk in anything that you do. But for me, I had to ask myself some questions, and you kind of answer these questions to yourself. Number one, I had to ask myself, do I believe in cryptocurrency? Do I believe that it's going to get bigger or smaller over the next few years? I believe it'll get bigger. I believe that the global adoption will continue to happen. We'll continue to see the market go up and down. It'll start to stabilize. I believe we'll see some regulation come in to start to regulate some of the stable coins and areas that prevent scammers from coming in, which is a good thing. I don't think they can kill it. I don't think they can. There's no way that they can come in and take full control of it because it goes against what decentralization is all about. And it's too far along to kill. You've got most of the banks now that have already changed all of their platforms to incorporate investing in cryptocurrency into many of their hedge funds. And you've got many retailers out there that are working behind the scenes to be able to accept cryptocurrency. In a very short future, you will be able to pull out your card, go swipe it, get gas, and it just literally comes right out of your account. Wouldn't that be cool to have a partner like American Express or something like that, and maybe even a token that was backed by a project like that? Maybe we'll see something like that in the future. So I had to ask myself, is cryptocurrency going to be bigger or smaller? Meaning, is it going to continue to, we're going to continue to see go from 4% to 5% to 6%. I believe that it'll continue to, I believe it's the future. It'll still take a while, but it is the future. Do I believe that real world projects like this are going to be highly sought after? Yes, I do. Do I believe that oil and gas are going to continue to be highly desirable? Yes. Do I believe that gold is going to be highly desirable? Do I believe silver and other precious metals that we will introduce will be highly sought after? Yes, I do. Is aluminum highly sought after, and will it continue to be? Yes, I do. So for me, my comfort level and risk tolerance was such that I felt that this was a great place to put our capital to go to work for me. You can only make that decision for yourself, but I can tell you that nobody else is doing this. IX Global is the only company, especially in the direct sales industry, that has anything like this. To my knowledge, in the network marketing industry, there is no ecosystem that exists like this. And you guys have an opportunity at the very beginning to get involved in these projects in a way that the people that started mining Bitcoin early on got involved. The only difference here is they're all backed by commodities. So I have gone an hour, and that is as long as I want to go. I'm hoping to one day get this down to 30 minutes, but it's a lot of information. It's a lot of education, and hopefully you feel like you got some value out of being here today. You'll see my portfolio total. Just want to touch that for 1 second here. When you're buying these licenses, just so you know, when they run out, there's no more available, they become NFTs. NFTs basically it's essentially an asset. It's kind of like buying an NFT. You're hearing NFTs and you think of art, but NFTs aren't just art, digital art. It's anything that has its own individual ID number that you personally own. These licenses are valid for a minimum of 10 years. You own them. So once it becomes an NFT, it then becomes willable, sellable, transferable. You can go to the marketplace and sell it if there's a buyer for it. So these have value. And my portfolio balance based on the value of the licenses that I hold today, including my tokens, is $408,000. That is my portfolio balance. So with that, if you have any questions, definitely get back to the person that invited you here. If you have an interest in getting some nodes set up, obviously get back to the person that invited you. If you have additional questions, let them know. They'll get with me. Christina asked the question, when nodes become NFTs, do they stop mining? No. Let's say that, for example, I'll give you one example. Debt is, there's no more licenses. It's still mining right now. There's no more licenses to buy. They did hold back a limited amount of those licenses that they will release at the beginning of next year. But there are no licenses to buy right now. And I would suspect Black Gold will sell out sometime before the end of the year. And that project, as long as there's oil in the wells, we keep mining and your license is valid. It's minimum of a 10-year guarantee. And the reason we can say that is because we know how much oil it was in the wells when we established that particular project. But what's cool is, think about this. Every time we bring on a new debt partner, a new oil company, by the way, we are partnered with Shell and Exxon. Anybody ever heard of them? That's another thing that you look for from a validation standpoint. Google, Boeing, SpaceX, Shell, Exxon are our debt partners. Some of the largest mines in the world in Ghana. Countries like Ghana are passing laws requiring people to use our technology. This is not what are we going to do. This is what we've already done. So those nodes will have value, but if we bring on new partners 2 years from now, and there's enough oil in that well that drills for another 10 years, it extends that license. So we just, based on when we started the project, that's what the license is valid for 10 years, but it could be longer depending on when we continue to bring on new debt partners. The other thing is those new debt partners bring on more profitability. Doesn't mean that we create more tokens. It means that every time the profitability comes in, we're removing more tokens, which makes them more highly desirable. So what does that do to the value? So for me, I like NatG because I believe based on this technology and how popular they're becoming, that we're going to continue to bring on more oil and gas partners, which ultimately means that even though they created the ecosystem and the tokenomics on what we had at that point, all of those future partners can create more and more value and limited supply, driving up the price points. So that was one of the reasons why I liked natural gas, and I bought 10 of those licenses at $2,500 a piece when I bought them. They're $3,000 today, $3,250 if you buy just one. So anyhow, any other questions before we wrap up? I haven't checked over here on Facebook. See if we're. All right, I think that we are good. Well, listen, I appreciate your time today. We will continue to do these educational webinars, and they'll continue to evolve. We're going to get a little bit more into the cryptocurrency education history, how it's evolved, how it's had an impact on the world, some of the what's happened to the U.S. dollar and some of the risks there, and then continue to educate about the debt, the IX node programs, and debt. So with that, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you very much. And you guys have a wonderful day today.